That looks good, Ted. Hello. Welcome back to Storytime. Thanks for joining us. I'm just doing a quick check for Ted to make sure that he's feeling well and healthy. And I hope you are too. Let's have a little look in his ear. Oh, you will not believe what I saw. That looks good, Ted. Let's just check your temperature. Ready? Very good. He's very brave, isn't he? Very brave. Well, that looks good. It must be good. It's got a smiley face on it. Very good, Ted. Well, Ted seems very well, and I hope you are too. I think it's because we've all been so good staying at home, washing our hands, and we're all doing a great job. Excellent. All right, I think it's time for story time then. I guess that's why you're here. Let's get started. Shall we do our introduction song? Have you got your shaker ready? Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you this morning? I am well, hope you are too. You are too. You are too. I am well, hope you are too. Hope you're well this morning. Excellent. Now we've got a bit of a few songs for you again today. And seeing we're talking about Ted and maybe seeing the doctor, I do know a song about going to the doctor. Do you know one? Do you know about the 5 little monkeys? Let's sing.
5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. 4 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. 3 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. 2 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. 1 little monkey jumping on the bed. He fell off and bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. No little monkeys jumping on the bed. None fell off and bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, put those monkeys back in bed.
Naughty little monkeys. I hope you put all your monkeys back to bed. Cheeky little monkeys. All right, how are we feeling today? Are we feeling happy? Maybe we should sing a little song and then we'll check in afterwards. Do you know if you're happy and you know it? Join in if you know.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray.
Hooray!
If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray.
Hooray!
If you're happy and you know it, then you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray.
Hooray!
If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet.
Stamping?
If you're happy and you know it, then you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet.
Stamp, stamp.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Come on.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Are you clapping?
If you're happy and you know it, and you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Very good. I hope you've been clapping and saying hooray and stamping your
Clap your
feet.
hands.
Excellent. Good. Now we're feeling happy. And one of the things I like to do when I'm happy is hang out with my little friend, Tiny Tim. Does anyone remember Tiny Tim? If you've seen him in Storytime, or if you've not met him, I'd like to tell you about him. Here's a song about Tiny Tim. It's very cute, isn't it?
I had a little turtle, his name was Tiny Tim. I put him in the bathtub to see if he could swim. He drank up all the water and ate a bar of soap. And now he's in his bed with bubbles in his throat. Bubble, 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 bubble.
Did you do the bubbles too? Maybe it's your turn to join in with the bubbles in a pop. Let's go.
I had a little turtle, his name was Tiny Tim. I put him in the bathtub to see if he could swim. He drank up all the water and ate a bar of soap. And now he's in his bed with bubbles in his throat. Bubble, bubble, bubble,
Bubble, bubbles?
bubble,
Great bubbles.
bubble, 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 bubble.
Like those bubbles. Did you like doing the bubbles too? It is a lot of fun. Thanks, little Tiny Tim. Okay,
There.
it might be time for a story. So I've got a nice fun story I'd like to share with you today. It's called Funky Chicken, Chooks in Space. Chooks in Space? Let's find out what that one's about. So do you think you'd like to see the book a bit closer? Shall I come up there to you then? Nod your head. All right, I'm coming up now. Can you see okay? Let's get started then. Funky Chicken, Chooks in Space. It's written by Chris Collin and illustrated by Megan Kitchen. Can you see okay? On a warm summer's day, out beyond Humpty Doo. Hey, Humpty Doo? Do you know where Humpty Doo is? You might even live in Humpty Doo. I know I do. Looks like Funky Chicken does too. So Funky Chicken was dreaming of the things that he could do. He woke with a start and a brilliant thought of becoming the first ever chook astronaut. A chook astronaut? Look, I think he really does want to be a chook astronaut. A spectacular voyage he'd make just in case he had any family who were living out in space. He'd fly around the planets and have a good look to seek out an extraterrestrial chook. Wow! Do you think there's extraterrestrial chooks out there? Do you think they look like that if they did? He looks pretty funny. I like all his colours. The first thing to do was to warn Bob and Sue of this wonderful trip that he was planning to do. Sue was astonished. But this is absurd. I don't know what gets into the head of that bird. Why would that chook want to fly out in space? Well, he's part of our family. He's part of this place. But the chook was determined, and Bob, well, he knew that Funky Chook's wacky dreaming, well, might even come true. So sure enough, by next morning, The chook and his friends were building a rocket from old odds and ends. There was a fuselage made out of wrought iron sheets and a pilot's chair crafted from antique car seats. Wow, like that there. A porthole was created from scrap in the shed and funky glass helmet to cover his head. Is that it over here? That is pretty funky. All of that junk that was lying around was destined for sure to end up space bound. A month and 2 days was all that it took to finish that spaceship designed for a chook. Look, they've been doing a countdown. And on a clear dawn in the middle of May, the rocket took off and the chook was away. Bye, Funky Chicken. First stop on the way was a planet called Zood. And the people who lived there, well, they were really quite rude. The chook asked politely, "Did you ever see a creature as splendid and brilliant as me?" And the leader, who had a big wart on his head, had a very rude answer, and I'll tell you, here's what he said. "We've no time for chickens who think they're unique. Get away from our planet, you feathery freak." Oh, my, that is terribly rude, isn't it? And so the chicken took off with a hiss and a roar, and he flew that chip faster than ever before. Whew, it looks like he's going very fast. He was in such a hurry to find the next place that something fell off, drifting out into space. Can you see what fell off? Did something fall off? I think it's that one just there. Oh dear. Hope you didn't need it. The chook rumbled on to the far land of Fink, a planet that oozed an unbearable stink. Woof! He landed the ship with a bit of a bump and he sniffed at the air. It smelled like a dump. This place smelt of things you would not want to eat, like stink bombs and fungus and, oh, cheese-flavoured feet. Ew! The stench was so vile to the nose of a chook. Well, he decided to leave without even taking a look. Bye-bye. Do you think you'd stay, or do you think you'd go straight away? I think I'd go. And so the chicken took off with a hiss and a roar, and he flew that ship faster than ever before. He was in such a rush to escape from that place that something fell off, drifting out into space. Wonder what fell off? Can you see anything? Oh, I think it's the FC fell off. What do you think that stands for? I think it could be Funky Chicken. The chook rattled on to a planet called Grots, where everyone's bottoms, oh, they were covered in dots. He met with their bum-spotted leader and king, a strange-looking creature with hair like old string. And Funky inquired, "Did you ever see elegant creatures who look just like me?" And the king said, "Well, no creature like you lives here on Grots." "Well, they couldn't live here. They're bums. They haven't got dots." Oh dear. No, I don't think Funky Chicken does have dots. So the chicken took off with a hiss and a roar, and he flew that ship faster than ever before. He was in such a hurry to find the next place that something fell off, drifting out into space. Did you see what fell off? I think there might even be a couple of things falling off. They looked like some straps that came off there and there. Can you see those? Hope he doesn't need them either. And he flew the full length of the whole Milky Way. He flew for a year, 7 months and 1 day. Well, that is a long time. He'd nearly lost hope of finding another, a cousin, an uncle, a sister, or a brother. And his very last stop was a planet called Ween, where he had morning tea with a beautiful queen. She spoke of a place where the feathered folk flew, where animals flourished and the sky was deep blue. Well, that sounds nice, doesn't it? That sounds like a pretty special place. To the chicken's delight and excitement that day, she pointed her finger and she showed him the way. I do like her eyes and the crown, do you? So our chicken took off with a hiss and a roar, and he flew that ship faster than ever before. At a speed no living creature had been, he powered through space in his funky machine. Wonder where he's going. Is he going here? Do you recognise there? That looks a lot like Australia. Maybe even up here is where you live. The chook hurtled on in a mad feathered dash. Great chunks of the rocket flew off with a crash. And when he touched down with a bit of a clang, the ship fell apart with a very loud bang. Oh, it fell apart all right, didn't it? There's bits and pieces everywhere. Even that chicken and her eggs. Do you have chickens and eggs at your house? Our hero emerged from the wreck and hopped out, with animals everywhere running about. And he knew that he was home, out beyond Humpty Doo, back on the farm with his friends, Bob and Sue. The chook was so happy he'd landed on Earth, and he hugged his old farm friends for all he was worth. It was then that he knew there was no need to roam, because his family and friends were all right here at home. Oh, that's nice. They were here all along. Look, there's no place like home, is there? That's a really fun story, and I like it even more right now because while we're all spending lots of time at home, and sometimes we might even wish that we were somewhere else, doing something else, but in the end, just like Funky Chicken learned, actually being at home is a pretty special place anyway. Don't you think, Deb? Well, how about we have another song? It might be time to meet some other friends. Let's meet our little ducks. Our little duck's going to come out and say hello. You ready?
There are ducks on this farm too.
Join in with me.
5 little ducks went out one day, over the hills and far away.
Mother duck said quack, 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 quack.
But only 4 little ducks came back.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 little ducks went out one day, over the hills and far away.
Mother duck said quack, 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 quack.
But only 3 little ducks came back.
1, 2, 3 little ducks.
3 little ducks went out one day, over the hills and far away.
Mother duck said quack, 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 quack.
But only 2 little ducks came back.
1, 2, 2 little ducks.
2 little ducks went out one day, over the hills and far away.
Mother duck said quack, 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 quack.
But only 1 little duck came back.
Only 1 little duck came back.
1 little duck went out one day, over the hills and far away.
Mother duck said quack, 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 quack.
But none of those 5 little ducks came back.
No little ducks came back. Poor Mummy Duck.
Old Mother Duck went out one day, over the hills and far away. Mother Duck said quack, 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 quack.
And all of the 5 little ducks came back.
Are you doing your quacking too? That's good. The little ducks have all come home. Bye, little ducks. Okay. Shall we go straight for another song? Okay. I know that one of the Storytime favourites. Let's go. Durglump went the little green frog one day. Durglump went the little green frog. Durglump went the little green frog one day, and the frog went lump, lump, lump. But we all know frogs go la-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da. We all know frogs go la-di-da-di-da. They don't go lump, lump, lump. Durglump went the little green frog one day. Durglump went the little green frog. Durglump went the little green frog one day, and the frog went lump, lump, lump. But we all know frogs go la-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da. We all know frogs go la-di-da-di-da. They don't go lump, 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 lump. Funny little frogs. I wonder what the frogs say at your house. Okay, little frog, off we go. We've got one more song for story time. So if you know the words for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, how about you join in? Okay? Ready when you are. Have you got your twinkles going?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Have you got your twinkling stars?
Have you?
Twinkle, twinkle,
You
twinkle,
twinkling?
way up in the sky.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Nice twinkling and nice stars, everyone. Thank you for joining in with me. I like doing that together. Okay, it's time for our goodbye song. So, if you've got something that you can join in with, grab your little maracas or a triangle or even a little container with some rice in it so that you can shake along. Okay? The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause my friends are your friends and your friends are my friends. More we get together, the happier we'll be. The more we read together, 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 the more we read together, the happier we'll be. We'll read big books and small books and long books and tall books. The more we read together, the happier we'll be. Thanks for joining us for Storytime, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.